Hey man, it's me, Kevin Smith. Are you listening to the right podcast? Because you're supposed to be listening to Three Guys in a Flick. Are you listening to that right now? Then you're in the right place. Enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
I can't dance. I've got 2 left feet.
I thought he was kidding.
But I wasn't. I was born with 2 left feet.
Three guys and a flick with Don, Ken, and John. Dive into the movies well after the dawn. From the good to the bad to the wildly absurd. They give a fuck about films. Their voices are heard.
Welcome back. You are listening to 3 Guys in a Flick. This is where we review the good, the bad, and the absurd. Tonight's episode, Best in Show. Beware spoilers. Coming to you from the Plymouth Mayflower Dog Show, my name is Don. And to my right, we have the comic book guy, John.
Heidi-ho.
And to my left, we have the Professor, Ken.
Hello, everybody.
There are a lot of dogs here.
Bitches be everywhere.
Damn. Oh, look at that one. So cute. Tonight, we are talking about Best in Show. Best in Show comes to us because, well, John wanted to pick it. So, John, why Best in Show?
It is one of my go-to movies, especially with my wife, Julie. It's one of her favorite movies. We just enjoy the fact knowing that there was only a 16-page outline for this movie, and the rest is just improv with Eugene Levy, which is one of our favorite people. So just a fun movie, just an all-around. You can watch it repeatedly and always catch something new in the movie.
Did we watch the same movie?
I was thinking the same thing.
And I love dogs.
Okay, well, there you go. Well, obviously, if it's one of your go-to movies, then that's great. Professor, had you ever seen this?
Once before.
Yeah, me too. I think once or twice. And so, yeah, I guess we'll get into it. Released on September 29th, 2000, Best in Show was directed by Christopher Guest. It was written by Christopher Guest and Eugene Levy, and it stars Jennifer Coolidge, Christopher Guest, John Michael Higgins, Michael Hitchcock, Eugene Levy, Jane Lynch, Michael McKean, Catherine O'Hara, Parker Posey, and a bunch of other dogs.
How'd this movie do, Don?
This movie was made for $10 million and brought in $21 million.
Not too shabby for a movie that, like I said, was mostly improv.
Yeah, I mean, it made more than what it cost to make it, kind of.
Which I guess is different than his earlier movie, Waiting for Guffman. I think cost $4 million and only brought in $2 million.
Well, there you go.
So what were your initial thoughts of this movie? Did you enjoy it, not enjoy it, get bored with it?
Yes. The mockumentary style of filmmaking, I like when done right. This is Spinal Tap is a classic example of that.
Which is another Christopher Guest movie.
Well, yeah. And knowing that going into it, I thought, okay. And then I remember way back when I saw it, I thought I liked it, but watching it again last night, I was bored because the conversations weren't really that funny to me, and it felt like they were trying to improv it. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are certain bits that we'll talk about that did make me chuckle, but overall, I mean, I is what it is.
Yeah, it's a pretty dry watch, and this humor is going to be, for a sophisticated palate. And this movie, watching it by myself with the audience not being around me to help me get more into the movie, worked against it.
Yeah, for sure.
It's funny how you describe your feeling of watching this movie is kind of how I feel every time I watch a Wes Anderson movie.
I can see why you would feel like that, for sure. Christopher Guest directs this, and he is known for writing This is Spinal Tap and being in it. And I actually did see A Mighty Wind, and I think I like that a lot better than this one because it's more of music is kind of the center of it, right? As opposed to dogs. Now, don't get me wrong. I love dogs, but A Other than that, have you seen Waiting for Guffman or A Mighty Wind or For Your Consideration?
I've seen A Mighty Wind, and of course I've seen Spinal Tap. I just love the fact how he sticks with the same cast for all of his movies.
Yeah, there are a lot of directors that do that.
And now,
for sure.
And now I was just talking with Julie. I think we're going to go out and we're going to go see Waiting for Guffman.
Have you seen any of those movies that I mentioned?
Just Spinal Tap.
Yeah.
Yeah. The others, based on what I get from Best in Show, the other movies are like,
Yeah.
Did you catch this?
Maybe one day, maybe not.
Yeah.
Did you catch the Spinal Tap references in this movie?
No.
When the hotel clerk is talking, or the hotel guy is talking about the rock band that roasted the goat and the rubber sheets, that's a call out to Spinal Tap.
Oh, I was wondering because he specifically says I can't name any names, but yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. Clever. This actually has kind of like an all-star cast.
Yeah, there's a lot of names in here.
Yeah, and I don't know why, but I thought it was more funny last time I watched it because you look at the list of names on here, and there's some pretty fucking funny people. What did you think of Eugene Levy?
I love him in just about everything he's in, whether it's the American Pie movies or this movie or even some of the TV shows he's done. Do you remember when he was on SCTV, that variety show?
Yeah, way back when.
Yeah, he's just always thought he's just so funny. And then, of course, Schitt's Creek was just amazing series.
Yeah. What about you?
I don't follow him, so I've seen very little of his work outside of this.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I loved him in Vacation. He's the one that sells Chevy Chase, the family truckster.
Yes.
What about Armed and Dangerous? You ever seen that one?
Oh, yeah, with John Candy?
Him and John Candy,
Yeah. Eugene Levy is pretty fucking funny. And then you have Catherine O'Hara. What do you guys think of her?
She was fun in this. That was a fun role to watch her do.
Yeah.
She's always the delight because she's so good at playing characters. If you see her in just any movies, it's always kind of a different character she's playing.
Yeah. I really liked her as the mom in Home Alone.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a good one. Michael McKean. I know him from Laverne and Shirley.
Lenny,
right?
Yep.
And then he goes on to do Spinal Tap and becomes a movie star. And what do you think of him in this?
I thought, he played a really good straight character, or not, wasn't straight in it, but like that,
The straight man.
The straight man, basically, to the comic.
Yeah.
And he was great in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, as well as that, the officer that comes up to the window.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's fine. He's somebody that I recognize, but mostly just from Laverne and Shirley for me.
Yeah.
So I'm familiar with many of these characters. I've seen many of these actors. I've seen them in one or two other things, but I know that, based on a typical movie, you have 2, 3, maybe 4 well-known names. But when you look at this movie, there's like at least 6.
Yeah.
My favorite role for him has to be This Is Spinal Tap. I think that, to me, was one of his best roles.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. I really liked him in Airheads with Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
I thought he was great in that.
Parker Posey. What do you think of Parker Posey? She actually got braces put on specifically for this movie.
I thought she was fine. I believed her as the yuppie sidekick to the other yuppie. And I mean, realistically, they're in it for maybe 5 minutes.
They're supposed to be catalog people, is what Christopher Guest labeled them as. People who live out of catalogs.
Oh, sure. Yuppie, catalog. I mean, use whatever word you want to. We get the idea. But their bits had me laughing out loud a little bit. So that couple was a little fun. What do you think of Parker Posey there, guy?
This is the only place I know her for.
Oh, yeah?
I haven't seen anything else that she's done.
She's in Superman Returns.
Yeah. And every time I see her, I always think of her role in Blade Trinity as the bad girl vampire.
What does Ryan Reynolds call her? Thunder cunt.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else jump out at you in this cast?
Jane Lynch. What do you think of Jane Lynch in this movie?
I think Jane Lynch always plays Jane Lynch.
That's what I think, too.
And this, it was very little, because she's in it very little. You have to split up screen time between these 4 pairs. So I thought she was okay. I believed it. I believed her and Jennifer Coolidge were an item. So yeah. Speaking of Jennifer Coolidge, what do you guys think of Stifler's mom?
She was fun in this movie. I think there's been other roles that I've liked better of hers, but I thought just the whole, like, that was her. I mean, that's the character she kind of always plays.
Yeah, dumb. Is that what she's supposed to be playing?
I think she was trying to be a play on Anna Nicole Smith. That was the whole idea.
Huh. I didn't get that. Yeah, not my favorite performance of hers by any stretch. What do you think of Stifler's mom?
You know, she was, I don't know, just she seemed pretty vacant.
Yeah, good word. And then she doesn't have any lines, really.
Not really.
But
one person I felt kind of stole the scenes he was in, or kind of stole half the movie, Fred Willard. What do you guys think of Fred Willard in this movie?
I wanted to like that bit so much. I thought, yes, let's have a guy who doesn't know anything about dog show color commentate a dog show fucking show. But his sidekick blew that whole scene for me. Fred Willard, he was funny.
Did you hear what their instructions were?
No.
When Fred Willard was first hired for this, he was told not to learn anything about dogs, dog shows, or anything, whereas his sidekick, the British guy, was told to learn as much as he could about dogs.
Which is funny because I assumed that British guy was from the dog world.
No, he's just an actor.
Oh, well, there you
Jim
go.
Pittick.
Yeah.
And the whole idea was you were supposed to sense that the British guy was getting more and more frustrated throughout the whole movie.
Well, that was apparent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah. Anyone else jump out at you?
The dogs.
They were cute.
Did you have a favorite dog in the movie?
I think my favorite dog in the movie was either the Siberian Husky or Winky, the one that won it.
I think Winky was the one for me.
Yeah.
You have a preference, Ken?
It was fun to watch Miss Agnes walk around because she looked like a little baby it.
Absolutely. Yes, Cousin It, for sure.
I'm bow wow excited for some trivia if you guys are.
Well, let's fucking do it. Let's see who, in fact, is best in show for trivia.
All right, here we go. Question number 1. When Jerry and Cookie Fleck are checking into the hotel, the credit card is refused. How many notices do they insist that they have, which means the card should still be active to be charged on?
John, they have until the second notice?
They have until the second notice, but what do they insist?
They insist that they're good for it?
Yes, but she says, she keeps repeating, we have one. It's one.
That's the answer you're looking for. I have no idea where he's trying to go.
The card is refused at 2. If they get 2 notices, then the card is shut off.
Oh, okay. So at the second notice.
At the second notice. So clearly they have the second notice, but she keeps saying, no, we only have one.
I see. Gotcha. Good question.
Question number 2. When the dog show begins, Buck Laughlin is opening the show on TV. What number does he give for the annual number of shows this is?
Dawn. 8th.
No.
Damn it.
7th?
No. 125th.
Oh.
So we're off by a little.
Just a little. I thought you liked this movie.
I like watching it, not listening to it.
So, you know, when the marquee starts and it comes in, and it's right on the top.
Oh.
And he also says the 125th annual.
Gotcha.
It's going to come down to like one question for us.
Question number 3. What does Scott say to Stefan when they see Sherry and Christy kissing?
John, Butch has 2 mommies? Something about having 2 mommies.
I will accept it. It's close, but not really.
Well,
Rhapsody has 2 mommies.
Rhapsody. I was trying to remember the other name, Rhapsody.
Question number 4. When Buck asks Trevor, how much do you think I could bench press? What is his answer?
Dawn. 325 pounds.
Are you asking for the answer from the guy or the British guy?
Do you have an answer?
He says 300 pounds.
The correct answer is 315 pounds.
Oh. What'd you say?
325. Damn it, right in the middle.
I knew it was 3 something. The other guy says, I don't know.
Question number 5. If either of you gets this correct, you're the winner.
Well, I've got one.
Oh,
No.
that's right. You do.
Right, yeah. If I get it, we tie. If I don't, he wins.
Question number 5.
He's so hard right now.
Cookie tells us that she has had hundreds of boyfriends. How many of these guys are we made aware of during the documentary?
Dawn.
Don?
This is a trick question, but go on.
4.
Technically, there's only 3 that say they've slept with her. It's hinted she slept with Max. So I'm going to go with 3.
The correct answer is 3.
Oh, there you go. God loves a terrier. Yes, he does. God loves a terrier. That's because small, sturdy. 5 eccentric dog owners, handlers, and trainers from across the country prepared to compete in the prestigious Mayflower Kennel Club dog show in Philadelphia. Jerry and Cookie Fleck, a quirky middle-class couple from Florida, arrive with their Norwich Terrier, Winky. Financial troubles force them to sleep in a hotel storage room, and Jerry is increasingly unnerved by Cookie's strings of former lovers popping up during the trip. Meg and Hamilton Swan, neurotic yuppies from suburban Chicago, dote on their dog Beatrice, who is visibly shaken after seeing them in a Kama Sutra-inspired sexual position. They even take her to a canine therapist. Harlan Pepper, a soft-spoken Southerner and aspiring ventriloquist, brings his bloodhound Hubert and shares his family's proud history of hound raising. Sherry Ann Cabot, a glam trophy wife, shows up with her standard poodle Rhapsody in white, a.k.a. Butch, alongside her intense and domineering trainer, Christy Cummings, who is secretly her romantic partner. Scott Dolan and Stefan Vanderhoof, a theatrical gay couple, arrive confident in their Shih Tzu, Miss Agnes, and delight in bonding over old movies and gossiping about the competition.
So the movie opens up and we are in a therapist's office, and Meg and Hamilton, they are talking with the doctor. And I got to say that they instantly come up as wound way too tight.
Which knowing it's a dog movie is fine, but the way they frame it and the way they talk about Beatrice, you kind of think, oh my God, did their kids see them having sex?
That's exactly what I thought too.
Right. And the way they portrayed it, I thought was pretty funny. But when we band down and see the dog is so disinterested.
Well, I love how you can kind of hear in the background them saying, Beatrice, look at us. Beatrice, look at me.
Yeah.
Beatrice has having none of it.
Yeah.
One of the things that they cut out of the movie was that Meg was supposed to have like a cocaine drug problem. And they had filmed that, but they cut it out because they wanted to keep it as a PG movie.
Oh, yeah.
That's why she's so wound up.
Well, it is a PG-13 movie. So, I mean, they talk about sex like nonstop. I don't know why Coke would stop them.
No kidding.
But
so I saw that this movie, they ended up having 60 hours of footage for this movie.
Yeah, because it's all ad-libbed.
My God.
I know. Can you imagine trying to cut that together?
No.
That's insane. That's
And
insane.
I believe from what I read, it was filmed with a 30 millimeter camera that was then blown up. So it's supposed to look like a shaky cam.
Oh, I just assumed it was handheld the whole time.
Yeah, handheld.
Yeah. Interesting.
So next we meet Cookie and Jerry, and they're at a dog competition, and we are told how they met.
And this is in Florida, and instantly you kind of, I don't know, they kind of reminded me of the Griswolds just a little bit. And I don't know because it was in Florida or whatever, but they're a quirky little couple, and they love their wiener dog. And you can tell that Jerry is very submissive, and he is in for quite a shock. So
This is also supposed to be a scene that foreshadows, because it's the only dog that is seen in a competition before the big competition, and it actually wins. So it's supposed to foreshadow Winky's going to win the whole thing.
wow, there you go. There you go.
And, you know, you look at him and you think, my gosh, how did you ever end up with her?
Oh, absolutely. And during their interviews, or because mockumentary style, right? She says something like, I've had hundreds of boyfriends.
Well, first he says, before me, she's had like 10 boyfriends. She was, hundreds.
yeah. And he's like, what?
This is news to me.
Yeah. So,
So you get the impression right away he's got a little bit of jealousy in him.
I'm sure it's a lot more than jealousy. First thing that pops into my head is insecurity.
That's exactly what I was thinking as well.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the 2 left feet joke that kind of goes throughout the movie?
I mean, I guess. I mean, it didn't. I kind of rolled my eyes at it, to be honest.
So did I.
So, and I mean, it's funny how they pull it off. And again, it's foreshadowing because it's going to come down to him walking.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was okay, I guess.
Yeah, because there was a lot of little things. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, there was a 16-page outline and the rest of it was just made up as they went. That's obviously one of the things that was in the outline. But like they gave him a nickname of Loopy because when he was a kid, he just walked around in circles.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can imagine that for sure.
We briefly meet Theodore Millback III, and he tells us about the Mayflower Kennel Club and the dog show that's been happening since 1875.
I had such a hard time paying attention to this guy. Did you? Do you like this guy?
No, because it's the parts where they kind of got serious and they lost the humor. Those parts you just kind of want to fast forward through.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. He's the dog expert or whatever. He's part of the club and you have to have him in there. But I don't know. For me, it was just kind of boring.
They're trying to add a little realism to the mockumentary to give it a little bit of credit. So it's not just goofy throughout the whole movie. But, you know, they do that with the Ed Begley character. They do that with this guy. They do that with, I think, some of the judges. But other than that, like I said, it's more fun to watch Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara.
Let me ask you this real quick. Do you watch Best in Show competitions on TV normally?
Not all the time, no, but around Thanksgiving, yeah, I'll turn it on. And they've actually added in, I can't remember his name from Seinfeld, but he's now one of the commentators that shows up on some of these like Westminster type shows doing the commentating. Huh. Just kind of like Fred Willard, I think, because of this movie.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go.
You know, Ariana Grande loves this movie. She has had Halloween costumes of these different characters.
God damn it. I was talking to Elise today and she was showing me one of those reels with her and her buddy from the Victorious. And she says, you should say that in your podcast tonight. And I said, why? No one who listens to us is going to know who the fuck Ariana Grande is. And here you come laying it at my fucking feet. Do you know how awesome she's going to, how awesome that's going to make her feel? Good job. And no, I haven't seen them, but I used to watch Victorious. I know who Ariana Grande is.
So who is Ariana Grande?
Yeah. Talk to me after the show.
She sounds like a drink you'd order at Starbucks.
That's good. I like that. So
we are now taken to the fishing hole where we meet Harlan Pepper.
What'd you guys think of this bit?
You know, just something about him. He got so into that character that I thought, you know, the way these characters are designed is their mannerisms are supposed to be just like their dogs. And I thought he fit his bloodhound dog Hubert the best. He just felt like a bloodhound human.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think he was probably the best paired, you know?
Yeah.
In my opinion. And I didn't mind his bits until he goes into the ventriloquist shit, which is just weird to me.
That is
but
weird.
Anyways, I like Will Sasso in this because he's just kind of out there.
Will Sasso has one of the best lines when Harlan is leaving in the camper. He yells out, "If you get tired, pull over. If you get hungry, eat."
Yeah.
It's like that's the advice I give to my friends when they go traveling.
That's funny. That's funny.
Next, we're taken to Tribeca, New York City, where we meet Stefan and Scott.
These two, I kind of rolled my eyes at as well. I don't know. I felt like they were trying to be funny, but I didn't think they were hugely funny.
Did you feel a little bit overblown? Like they were overdoing it a bit?
Yeah, maybe. John Michael Higgins, I thought, was just a wee bit over the top, but that's just me. Maybe I'm just old and grumpy.
He kind of plays that character a lot though, that style, maybe not to that extreme, but he does kind of have that little bit flamboyant nature in him.
And he's in fucking everything. And I'm trying to think of off the top of my head because I like the guy as a fucking actor. I thought he was good in Pitch Perfect. as the commentator with Elizabeth Banks. And really, that's the only thing that pops into my head. So
I remember him also in Blade Trinity, but he had a very small role as kind of, I think, a doctor or something.
I think so.
In the
something
police
like that.
station.
Yeah.
Next, we're taken to the Cabot Mansion where we meet Leslie and Sherry.
It's Blue from fucking Old School.
I loved that guy. I don't know why, but every time I see him in different things. Was he also in the Adam Sandler movie in Wedding Singer, or was that a different old guy?
Nope, that's the same guy.
And I love how he just kind of staring off in the distance.
And he's kind of making little faces with his cheeks and mess.
And, you know, the joke is instantly revealed when you see them side by side.
Yeah, absolutely.
And,
Gold digger.
Yeah.
well, I just like how she talks about, sort of their favorite things, the snow peas, the outdoors, and talking and not talking.
And we both love soup. And I like how she's, she immediately jumps to, I have to push him away. And if you look at his face, he's kind of rolling his eyes and making funny faces. So
I thought maybe he had like dementia or something and didn't even know he was there.
oh well, maybe.
He and I, we have something in common.
You like soup?
You both like snow peas? You're both married to blondes?
We have the same birthday.
Oh, really? You and the actor?
The actor and I.
Oh, how funny.
Yeah.
Is he still having birthdays?
I don't know.
You're my boy, Blue. I will forever remember him in Old School.
And then we're taken to the arena before it's set up, and we listen to the commentator, the guy who's responsible for it. What's his name? Graham Chisholm. He's the show chairman, and it's the empty arena.
Is that the same actor from Airplane? The one who jumps around and goes, you should wear a hat.
He does look like him, but I doubt it's the same one. He'd be a lot older, wouldn't he?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking the question.
But this is 2000, and Airplane is 1980.
Yeah, so 19 years? I don't know.
We'll have to look that up.
It could be.
Yeah.
If only we had a way to look that up.
I know. Listeners, hey, why don't you fucking tell us? There you go. I like this bit because it's production, right? And I come from a production side. And I love the explanation he gives about behind the curtain. And the curtain is the most important thing. And you can clearly tell that the power has gone to his head because he's telling the guys, stretch it out. Put your arms out there. And
don't get dirt on
as
it.
it's going up. And I thought that bit was kind of funny.
And the movie just continues to jump around, and we just jump around to these little snippets. And this is just how the movie goes. And there's no real plot that happens. The first part of the movie is us just getting to know and introduced and the quirky isms of each one of these characters. Because then we go back to Meg and Hamilton, and then they're arguing, and then we jump to Harlan and his dog Hubert again, and then from there we go to Jerry and Cookie, and they're having a backyard party for the fucking dog.
What'd you think of the song they sang for the terrier?
Okay.
Apparently Eugene Levy wrote both of the terrier songs that they sing in the movie.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. Yeah, and it's kind of like, it's not a montage per se, but we're following these four couples or the three couples and then Harlan, right? Mm-hmm. And we meet them, like you were saying, and then they have to get to Philadelphia. And for some reason, I thought they were going to fucking New York, but whatever. And
no, because they're going to go see where they make the cream cheese and the Liberty Bell.
Well, yeah, that's in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And the dog show's being held at the Taft and the hotel. And so that's where everybody's checking in as well.
We get to see everybody hitting the road.
Did you catch the license plate on Cookie and Jerry's car?
No.
It said Winky.
No, I missed it.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the van though. I mean, if that's the way you're going to go,
yeah,
you got to go. Because I was thinking as Harlan is pulling out in his big RV, I'm like, what if he wants to go through a drive-through or something, right? I mean, not really accessible all the time, but a van, that's the way to go. And then the yuppies, Parker Posey and the other dude. I love how she's like, do you have everything? And he's like, I have everything. And they're
at the airport
and they're getting, all in each other's face. And they don't have their tickets. But I thought it was funny that their dog, Beatrice, lunges at that guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, foreshadowing. And I was fucking right.
Yeah, not only foreshadowing, you can get how their, I don't know if it's their anger, their pent upness is, setting the dog off, or the dog is setting them off. It's kind of that whole thing going back and forth that they kind of, the dog lunges at the guy and then they lunge at the guy, yelling, "What'd you do? What'd you do?"
Yeah, I don't think the dog was responsible for anything. I think the dog was just being a dog. I don't think the dog was a show dog. I think that his parents were delusional and they were
Wound way too tight.
and, projecting a lot of shit on the dog,
Yep.
which I think we're supposed to get that. But yeah, I didn't think he was a show dog to begin with. I think it was just something that they wanted to do. But that's just how I took it.
And the dry humor, just continues. That whole bit when Harlan is in his RV and he's listing off all the different nuts. My gosh. Thank you.
Completely improvised. They didn't know where he was going with that.
Yeah, and it felt improvised. It felt made up.
It was supposed to feel, especially when he gets to the last one, if it was macadamia nut or whatever, pine nut, and then he just stops and the camera keeps filming. It was supposed to give you that awkward sense, that feeling of, okay, what's next?
Well,
Cookie and Jerry, they stop at Max's place. And Jerry, he has a little apprehension because he has been with Cookie before.
and man, the way Max is looking at her and
That big kiss?
that kiss, and I love the wife who just kind of plays it off. Like she knows who Max is, and clearly Max and Cookie have had a past.
There is a lot of subtle dialogue throughout this whole scene that makes it actually one of the funniest scenes, I think, in the movie. Some of the stuff that Max is saying, some of the stuff that Jerry says, the kid in the background with the parachute thing, kind of Max is talking to her about, I forget what, like old times, and then all of a sudden it starts turning dirty where he's doing it, and then Jerry freaks out. I just thought that was so humorous.
Yeah.
Did you catch when he said, refers to, what would you feel if I commented on your wife's luscious melons?
And she's like, "Thank you, Jerry."
Yeah, she's like, "Thank you."
Yeah. He was trying to flip it around on him, which I would have done the same thing, right? And then, Jerry tries to make friends with the kid who has a parachute, and he leaves the table and Winky follows him. And so naturally, the kid wants to put Winky in a parachute.
Well, right before that, we hear Max talking, and I'm guessing this whole thing was improvised as well. Max is talking about how he's a hostage negotiator, and Jerry asks him, "So how many have you saved?" "Oh, they all jump."
Yeah.
And then he describes, while they're eating their food, this situation where a guy jumped from a building, his head got caught in a gargoyle's mouth and popped right off like a grape, and then he spun around. And
Yeah.
it's just such a fun story. And then I love when they go outside and the kid's up on the top of the roof with the dog, with the parachute on the dog. And here we get to see Max's hostage negotiation tactics.
Right. Well, obviously Winky lives. So, and then,
We meet Mark Schaefer, played by Ed Begley Jr., and an incredibly dry, boring presentation of the different cleaning stuff that he has for the dogs.
but at least I bought that, right? As a mockumentary, camera crew goes in. Naturally, the guy is going to talk about how they handle the dogs because it's a yearly thing. So that bit I was actually okay with. But you're right. He's very dry, and, I'm just lucky there wasn't a ton of it.
So now we see people, they're starting to check into the hotel. First, we get Stefan and Steven. They're checking in, and Stefan, he's being a little over the top with the
Innuendos?
yes.
Yeah.
I like when the guy says, "Okay, I got you in for a queen bed. What are you referring to, mister?"
Yeah. And then Michael McKean's like, "Stop it." Right. And we go through all of the people checking in, and when Cookie and Jerry try to check in, there's a little financial issue.
Oopsies.
Yeah, we're supposed to get obviously the hints that they are the poor couple who's maxed out their credit cards, huge credit card debt from Florida.
Oh, sure.
The underdogs.
Sure. And so, but Ed Begley can't throw him out on the street, so he gives them the next best thing, which is that store closet.
Yeah, the supply closet.
The supply closet.
Yes.
And I love how they talk about, well, what about room service? Well, the the kitchen's just down the hallway. What about the bathroom? Well, you just go down a couple flights of stairs to the lobby.
It's in the lobby. It's the lobby.
lobby.
It's the lobby bathroom. I was thinking, why didn't just sleep in their van?
That van probably could have converted, probably had those capabilities.
Probably. That's what I was thinking. But, they got a cot. That should be cool.
What do you think of the party situation?
It was okay. A lot of mingling. The two yuppies were even debating if they wanted to go. They showed up. So, yeah. What'd you think?
It was interesting to see the characters interact. Jerry and Cookie interact with Stefan and what's his name?
The other one?
With Stefan and Scott, and you see the yuppies having their ears talked off by somebody. I think it was Harlan.
Yeah.
And just the interactions of the couples. Obviously, these are going to be our final winners.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking too. And I didn't realize that the show was broken up into categories, but after I watched it, I was like, oh, that makes fucking sense.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched dog shows?
No.
Yeah, they always start with the breeds, like the hound groups or whatever, and then they go to the best in show of all the dogs.
Yeah.
What did you think of the bit with Stefan and Steve when they were zhuzhing up their room?
Well, even before that, I thought it was so funny when they were packing and Stefan's like putting his kimonos in the thing and he says, I think I have 6 kimonos. And it's like, we're only going to be there 48 hours. You're right. I need 8.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Nothing?
that was the character, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No.
then they're putting up all the nail and all the stuff. Yeah, it's crazy.
It was humorous. Stefan, I'm assuming Stefan was the one putting up and Scott's Michael McKean.
He had the mask on or something and was talking to the dog on the phone.
We're good. Stefan's character definitely struck me as someone who would totally do that. So I think they kind of hit the nail on the head with that one. But yeah, they wanted to make it feel like home, especially for their little Agnes, which, I'm sorry, the Shih Tzu, not a very pretty dog, but that's just me.
I've been bitten by enough of those that, yeah, I'm not a fan of those dogs.
Yeah.
Their love to you, God didn't miss a stitch. Be it dog or be it bitch, when he made the Norwich Merrier with its cute little terrier. Yes, God loves a terrier.
The competitors arrive at the show, where the tensions, quirks, and comedy ramp up. The show is hosted by the knowledgeable Trevor Beckwith and hopelessly clueless commentator Buck Laughlin, whose bizarre observations go hilariously unnoticed. Each dog is showcased, but Beatrice is disqualified after an aggressive outburst that Hamilton blames on her missing squeaking toy. The remaining dogs move on to the final round. However, Cookie suffers a knee injury, and Jerry, despite being uncoordinated due to a birth defect, must step in and show Winky himself. Against the odds and with plenty of awkward charm, Winky wins Best in Show, much to the surprise of everyone, including Jerry. So it's show day. It's showtime. And I like the backstage where they're getting the dogs prepped and then it's the hounds that kick us off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Harlan and the big dog.
I like the backstage bit, how you have Scott and Stefan and then the Swans, which is Meg and Hamilton. They're totally fussing over their dog, just over the top, fussing.
And so they show the hound dogs. And I thought it was funny that, this big hound dog doesn't strike me as, like a show dog or a pretty dog. But no, it's actually a thing. And
yeah, every dog that they used in the movie, with the exception of one, was actually a show dog, and all the extras in the movie were people who were show people that would actually show the dogs. Did you know why there was one that was not a show dog?
Because Christopher Guest wanted to make a statement?
No, there was a poodle in the background of the scenes that they got at the last minute because the lady who was supposed to bring her show dog to be in the movie, when she found out the day she showed up that her dog was not going to win the fake dog show, she pulled her dog out and said, I'm not going to put him in the movie.
Oh, well, there you go. People, man. People.
Totally.
And it happens that we get the bloodhound comes in first.
And when the judge is walking around and she's all, that's how I want it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I had to laugh because the elation on Huber's face, I kind of felt it because it was like a surprise, but he was super stoked. And obviously he's going to win because he's one of our characters. But yeah.
One of the funniest things about this backstage stuff was the interaction with Max and Hamilton over the busy bee, and the fact that they completely freak out that the dog is missing the busy bee, and Meg and Hamilton, and Meg has to run back to the hotel.
And she's tearing that place apart, being a total bitch.
And then she lays into Egg Bagley and the housekeeper.
I love how she says to the housekeeper, "Where are your papers?"
Yeah.
What?
Oh yeah. Why don't you go back to the country you came from?
Yeah. She goes, "I know somebody with a van who will come and get you."
Yeah. Foreshadowing?
Maybe a little.
And it's your guys' favorite movie? Huh.
Well, we don't like her.
Interesting. But yeah, she can't find the fucking bee, and so she goes to a store or a shop that Ed Begley says, you should just go to this.
It's so
shop.
funny. She's trying to describe the toy, and the guy's like, "Well, I got this bear. That's a bear. That's not a busy bee."
Yeah, it's one of those comedy of errors.
Would it surprise you to know that I have that exact busy bee for my dog Roxy?
Nope, it would not surprise me one little bit.
Me neither.
No, it's one of Roxy's favorites.
We have Sherry and Christy. They are talking makeup. Oh boy.
I really wish we could have seen her with the makeup on. They cut that scene, and I wish they would show like a picture or something, because it would have been funny to see Jane Lynch all done up.
Okay, I got to be honest. I fell asleep a little bit, and I thought I missed it.
No.
So it's not in the movie?
No.
Okay, cool.
And in fact, Jane Lynch's character mentions, but she likes her hair. Well, if you go back to the beginning, that's the same hair she had in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
I did notice that.
Yeah, that's the joke.
Mm.
That's what, out of all of it, it's her hair that she likes. And again, we get Stifler's mom just kind of being present, but not really present. But, I guess that was the character.
Next, we have the toys come out, and this is where we get Scott and Miss Agnes out on the floor.
I love Scott's presentation.
The way he walks.
He's upright. His hands are out. All eyes on him, but he's got the cutest dog, he thinks. And I don't notice it until the Best in Show round that he makes faces at the judges.
Yes, he does.
Like sexy faces. So I thought that was actually kind of cute.
I got kind of the feeling like, at these dog shows, you're showing your dog. In this case, he was the one being shown off.
Oh, sure.
Because the focus was on him with his outfit and his.
Well, yeah, because
his
he's got to go.
posing.
Because he's got to go change outfits for another round. Him and Stefan.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and Agnes lands up winning. She gets the blue ribbon in the little bowl, and she moves on to the Best in Show.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we have the hound dog. I feel so bad. What's the dog's name?
Wait.
Hubert is the
Hubert.
hound dog.
I thought that was who's Christopher Guest?
Christopher Guest is Harlan.
Harlan and Hubert. Okay,
Yep.
that's how much this movie impacted me.
Yeah, so next, it's the terriers that come out.
And the terriers have
Winky.
Cookie and Winky.
Yeah. And I like this because they hold up the tails so they can, so the judges can inspect the buttholes. And then, so are you telling me that if like a dog had to take a shit right before show and he had a little piece of hair or something sticking out of his butt, he would have got dinged for it?
Yeah, they would have dinged him for it.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Have you noticed that when like the show people walk around and they have their little numbers on the thing, they have combs and stuff in there so they can continuously groom the dogs even out on the show floor? Yeah, any little thing will disqualify you. I mean, like when you see the dogs prancing and running, even their little gait, their little prance, the judges are looking at.
Oh,
and the dogs can't be fixed. They have to be natural.
Ah, well, there you go.
Yeah, and we get we get Buck Laughlin going on about, continually. He's just this motor mouth of diatribe of meaningless information of, riffing on whatever the moment is.
Yeah, and Fred Willard's actually really good at that, just kind of the ongoing talking, I loved him in Modern Family. He played Phil's dad. and a lot of what Fred Willard does is very funny. And I felt him try in this, but that fucking other commentator just killed it for me.
Did you have any like a favorite thing that Fred Willard said?
I couldn't tell you what he said.
One of them that I liked was right early on when he was reading off the judge's name, and he goes, Eddie something or other. And he goes, no, it's Edie. He has to take off his glasses, and he looks, she goes, you're right. It's an Edie.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, it's the sporting group, or they might call them the outdoor group, I think.
Is this the
It's Hamilton and Beatrice.
okay, right. And before or as the judge is talking to Beatrice, she lunges forward and clearly she's going to get disqualified. This is their worst nightmare come to fruition.
Yep.
And
It's because they didn't have the busy bee.
no, it's because they're fucking neurotic. But yeah, they blame not having the busy bee. And I immediately thought, oh my God, they're going to get rid of that dog. But we hadn't gotten there yet. I thought that was going to be the end of these characters. And I was actually surprised. I thought, I mean, I could have put money down that all of our characters that we were introduced to were going to make the best in show. So good on Chris Guest for subverting expectations and getting rid of these two.
For some reason, even though I've seen this movie a bunch of times, I kept thinking that this couple divorced at the end or broke up at the end. It caught me off guard watching it again to remember what actually happened, that they, well, we'll get to that. But you could clearly tell that the judge must have had like peanut butter or something in her pocket, the way the dog kept going for her pocket. I don't know if you noticed that.
I did not.
No, it's probably a camera trick or something, animal trick.
So we have Christy and Rhapsody and White. They come in first.
I like how we have Jennifer Coolidge backstage, and she's just kind of doing a little monologue about how her inner voice told her to not go out and not to go watch. And then she orders popcorn. Do you remember what her popcorn order was?
Half butter, half salt.
How do you do that? Half butter, half salt.
I don't know. The guy who took the order probably doesn't know how to do it. He just humored her, right? But no, that dog wins. What did you guys think of the poodle being shaved, the butt area, but it had the two Princess Leia poofs?
The pom-poms, yeah.
Yeah.
That's typical for basically for French poodles.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
Their ass is hanging out.
They even said on that Philadelphia AM show that it's supposed to keep their hips warm, but they're so
Their
foofy
poor
like that.
little ass. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
So.
And Butch is a bitch.
Yeah, that's what they said.
And so to celebrate, Christy goes running back to Sherry.
And they have a big old smooch.
Now, I was wondering early on if that was their first big smooch, like they had kind of flirted in the past, or do you think it was an ongoing thing? Like they were kind of keeping it hidden.
That's what I thought.
That's what I thought too.
Okay.
So.
I like the comment of they have two mommies.
Yeah. Yeah. Pointing out the gay.
And so now we are down to the best in show, and we get to have a final 7 for one last round.
And 3 of our 4 story characters are in best in show. We have Scott, we have Cookie, we have Harold, Harlan, and then like 4 other chachas, because aren't there like 7 dogs?
Yeah, I believe there's 7 dogs.
Yeah, okay. I did notice that the Siberian Husky made it.
Yes.
That was a pretty dog. And they're getting ready. They're going backstage. They're getting ready for this final round. Obviously, Scott had to change his outfit, which I thought was kind of funny. And even Sven or Stefan changed his outfit, clearly taking this seriously. And as they're getting ready to go out, Cookie twists or turns or does something and hurts her knee.
Yeah, she trips over something that she can't find.
Yeah.
And I thought that Catherine O'Hara did a great job of over exaggerating the injury. Did you notice how her knee was just really crazily wobbling as she tried to walk?
Uh-huh.
I thought she did a good job of that.
Sure.
It was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so naturally,
it's going to be Jerry.
It's got to be Jerry, right? You got to step up. This is your moment. And he was like, wait, I got 2 left feet. I can't do this shit. And Cookie's like, hey, you have to show Winky. And we get that shot of Eugene Levy. It's kind of like it's super overwhelming, but in that moment, he realizes what he has to do, and he goes out there and he does it.
Yeah, he's just like all of us. He's the everyday man.
So the dogs head out. First, we get the pointer, and then followed by the bloodhound, then the Siberian husky, then the terrier, then the toy, and then Rhapsody in White. I didn't hear what title that dog has. And then the last one was the Shetland sheepdog.
Right. And again, Scott comes out with his prim and proper pose, and he's even like shaking his shoulders a little bit. And Fred Willard says, if a guy dressed like that is in my neighborhood, something about him having to be a doorman. And I kind of chuckled.
He has to be a hotel doorman.
Yeah. And I had to chuckle a little bit.
I do like that they called out is there something wrong with his feet?
Yeah. They had to take a double look.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they go around, they do the thing, and then the judge has to, decide.
I like how Jerry is the only one that doesn't run.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Scott, he doesn't run either.
He walks at a fast pace, though.
Yeah.
I thought that.
It's brisk.
And I thought it's because Winky can't run because his legs are so short.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
So, but yeah, no. Jerry is very methodical. He is on a mission. Super fucking nervous, you can tell.
Well, he's trying not to walk in a loop.
Right. And because he's got 2 left feet. But whatever he did worked because Winky is pronounced best in show. What did you guys think of this bit?
It was very rewarding.
It really was. And
it had the same tones of Rocky to me.
And that's exactly what I was just going to say. Jerry's yelling for Cookie. Cookie's yelling for Jerry. And then even the bit where they're celebrating and Jerry holds up Winky and then they freeze frame it. That's very Rocky-esque.
It should have started the Rocky music right there.
It would have gotten another fuck from me if that was the case. But
so that would be 1 then.
It would be 1. Yes, it would be 1.
Backyard, front yard, or the barn. Play with it till it gets dark. Take it home after a while. Then chew it up, terrier style. Bow wow! He lives. Bow wow! Some dish.
The film closes with a fast-forward glimpse into the competitors' lives after the show. Jerry and Cookie return to Florida and briefly ride a wave of fame, recording novelty songs about terriers, only to discover that their sound engineer is another one of Cookie's exes. Christy and Sherry Ann embrace their relationship, openly launch American Bitch, a magazine for lesbian purebred dog owners. Harlan fulfills his dream of becoming a ventriloquist, performing country-themed comedy acts to small audiences. Scott and Stefan create a calendar featuring Miss Agnes dressed in elaborate costumes reenacting scenes from classic films like Casablanca and Gone with the Wind. Meg and Hamilton, now noticeably more relaxed, replace Beatrice with a pug named Kipper, who, according to them, actually enjoys watching them be intimate. Roll credits. So after Winky wins the show, we are fast forward 6 months later. What did you guys think of everybody's epilogue?
They were fun to see.
Yeah?
Yeah, I enjoyed seeing all of them.
I liked the last Cookie and Jerry song.
Yeah.
But they went to record an album.
It was awful.
It was pretty bad.
And even though the joke got kind of old, I thought it was funny the way they did end with the radio guy or the studio guy having slept with Cookie.
Yeah, I
on a roller coaster.
just felt so bad for Jerry every time that happens.
And
then I thought, well, fuck, if that's the case, then yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
I think this was one of the first times I ever caught that while Cookie is talking to the radio guy, While Cookie is talking to the studio guy, did you catch that Jerry was banging his head on the microphone?
Yes.
Oh, at the very end, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's like, not again.
Yeah. And then the one I had to roll my eyes at again was Scott and Stefan and the dogs and the
doggy calendar.
Yeah. What? Why? Don't let those fucking poor dogs do that, you arrogant fucking assholes. And then one I just thought that was way out of fucking left field and just weird for me.
Harlan?
Yeah, the whole ventriloquist thing.
That one I didn't like at all. That one just seemed kind of dumb.
Yeah.
It was so awkward.
My favorite one had to be Meg and Hamilton with their dog, their new dog Kipper.
Yeah, they definitely seem more relaxed. And it come to find out that they, in fact, got rid of Beatrice.
Because Beatrice was the problem.
Yeah. So did they put her down, you think?
No, I'm sure they just probably...
I think they put her down. I think they are that kind of people, which turns this into a puppy snuff film.
The best part was, they talk about how the dog enjoys watching them have sex, and then you see the therapist look down to see the dog humping his leg.
Yeah, that was... You kind of had to see that coming. And then the film ends just like it began, in this doctor's office.
Yep.
And that was the best in show. All right, what do you guys think? Are you guys ready to rate this flick?
I'm ready to rate this flick. How about you, John? Are you ready to rate this flick?
Absolutely. I've groomed my thoughts, fluffed my opinions, and I'm ready to be judged.
All right. Hey, Professor, how do we do our ratings?
We do our ratings on a scale of 1 to 5 fucks. 5 fucks is a movie that we think is cinematic gold. A 1 fuck movie is where you get done watching it, and you're thinking, I'm never watching this again.
And what's a 0?
A 0 fuck movie is where you get done watching it, and you turn to your buddy, and you're like, oh, for shit's sake, what the hell? Why would you make me watch? I want 1 hour and 30 minutes of my life back.
Or in other words, we just don't give a fuck. All right there, comic book guy. This was your choice, which you made voluntarily, which you have voluntarily and openly admitted that you like this film. Anyways, it's your review.
So you're trying to say I'm going to go first?
Yes, that was my long way of saying you're first.
Okay, before I do, Don, what rating am I giving this?
5. You're giving this a motherfucking 5.
Is that your final answer?
No. 3.75 fucks.
Final answer?
Final answer. Okay.
Improv, mockumentary brilliance, quirky, quotable, rewatchable, and hilariously absurd. I'm giving this 3.75 out of 5 fucks.
Bam. Fucking nailed it.
I think I pretty much said everything else I wanted to say about this movie that I, enjoyed everybody.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Yeah, I'll go next.
All right. Sounds good, buddy.
Thank you. Best in Show is a good mockumentary style that shows off the dry humor that we get in things like Spinal Tap, of course, and The Office. We also have a rich cast with a lot of people in here that I knew, but these people aren't necessarily people that I follow. The characters are interesting to watch, but in general, the dog show aspect of it is probably the more interesting thing to me than actually the following the characters. Having Meg and Hamilton be so freaking neurotic, I got tired of that pretty fast because, all they did was just get cranky and yell at everybody around them. Cookie and Jerry, they were a fun couple. And I thought that for the most part, Jerry is showing off his awkwardness and how he feels that he doesn't deserve Cookie, that he's going to lose Cookie because so many other people are so much more bold about how they feel about Cookie, and she seems to not necessarily shy away from it, but I think that, she doesn't mind having that brought up again. It's like, oh yeah, that was good. And so, I really feel for Jerry. Having him win at the end was very satisfying. Like I said, I kind of teared up there because it just had such a good feeling for him to have that when he doesn't have what I think is necessarily a lot to feel good about throughout the movie because he's just following along behind her. And I think that he's never probably, felt all that strongly about himself as a good and successful person, if you will. The two, Stefan and Scott, they were over the top and they were fine. But for the most part, I didn't necessarily care that much about their story arc. Fred Willard, he was kind of annoying. And the fact that he just prattled on and on, it's just like, okay. So I found in general the dog show to be more interesting than the characters themselves. I've seen it before, as I said, and I came away feeling about the same as I did this time around as I did last time around. It never made me laugh, but I understand its good-natured humor, and I understand also that, you're going to have movies that are going to be fun to watch, and it is in general a fun movie to watch, but I just didn't necessarily feel won over by it. I'm giving this 3 fucks.
3 fucks from the professor. I thought that Best in Show as a mockumentary put its best foot forward. I don't mind the dog genre. I don't mind that with a mockumentary, you very rarely get a plot. And really the plot of this film was just to show the dog show and the world it entails. I thought mockumentary wise, it's very soundly shot, and a lot of the characters are fine. They are passable, right? What I did find kind of strange and odd was the Harlan character a little bit. And a lot of the conversations didn't go anywhere for me. It felt improv and not in a funny way to me. I did enjoy Cookie and Jerry. I did enjoy the Rocky End. And, normally I like all of this cast. There was not one person in this cast that I did not like. I might not have cared for the character too much, but the actor or the same crew that Christopher Guest works with, they all work very well, and there's a chemistry, and it does show in this. And at an hour and 26 minutes, I mean, it's right in my fucking sweet spot, right? I wish I could get more on board with it. I wish I liked it more than I did. I don't know if I'll ever go back and watch it. I like Christopher Guest as a director and as an actor, so it'll be interesting to see what other Christopher Guest movies we do. But with all of that said, I'm giving Best in Show 2.5 fucks. With 2.5 fucks from me, 3 fucks from the professor, and 3.75 fucks from the comic book guy, that gives Best in Show an average of 3.1 fuck. And that now puts it in the 24th spot with Catch Me If You Can and Far and Away. It is slightly better than Flash Gordon, Talk to Me, The Untouchables, The Wolf of Wall Street, Love Actually, and The Running Man. And it is slightly worse than Bloodsport, Starship Troopers, The Last Samurai, Red Dawn, Galaxy Quest, and Ratatouille. So there you go, boys.
I could have sworn Flash Gordon was better than this.
Well, you mean rating wise or as a movie?
As a movie. I like Flash Gordon.
Well, yeah, you gave it a fucking 4.5. Guess who didn't? All right, that is going to wrap it up for this episode of Three Guys in a Flick. If you would like to know which movie we're going to be reviewing next, please check out the website. And speaking of which, hey, John, where can they find us?
They can find us at threeguysinaflick.com, where we post our show notes. You can find all of our podcasts, and we have a working form on there now that you can submit movies to go in the helmet and have us review down the road. You can also find us at all of social media, where on Tuesdays, I've started announcing what movie we will be reviewing the following Thursday. And you can find us at any place that hosts podcasts. And while you're listening to us right now, be sure to give us a like, subscribe so you'll know first when we release our podcast. And in the comments, if you'd like, leave us a movie there you'd like us to go in the helmet and have us review. All
right. I just want to take a quick second and thank some of our listeners who have been graciously throwing new movies into the Bronco helmet. Loke626, thank you so much. Matthew M., Miguel M., Nico L., Technique Junglist, Jordan H., and Jack H. And I just want to thank anyone else who listens and who has suggested a movie. If you keep listening, we'll keep recording. For Three Guys in a Flick, I'm Don.
I'm John.
And I'm Ken. Thanks for listening. And does this sound familiar? I'm not wearing underwear.
Three guys with some mics, yeah, darted to the flicks. We're here for the real talk, no time for the tricks. Dawn as the captain, steering us right. Kid drops now is shedding light. On with the comics, bringing the hype. From the good, the bad, to the absurd. We break it down, make sure you heard. Passion for the screen, we ride or die about movies. You know, we always give a fuck, no lie.
I'm not wearing underwear.
That could be a fun one. That's how we should end the show. Ken says the
Oh, yeah.
thing. And, then
And
Ken
thanks
says,
for listening.
I'm not wearing underwear.
Look, he's laughing. Sold. Done. Obsessively on their Winmaner.
Wine mariner?
Wine
on their dog.
Their what?
I just say on their dog.
On their dog, Patrice.
Beatrice.
I thought for sure he was going to say doggy style because it's a dog and it would be traumatized from seeing.
It was just very uncomfortable for her.
Yes. Wait, for who? For
Meg said it was very uncomfortable.
For the dog or for her? That was a legitimate question.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
She said it was for her. For her. Doing the position put her in a very uncomfortable position.
What? Like in the back of a Volkswagen? All right. It is time. And they just kept coming. So
I had like 4.
I know. And
I'm sure we'll have some of the similar ones.
And I think so because there's a lot of them are kind of derivative from the other of each other, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, what do you got there, Professor?
Nothing.
Oh, you suck. All
we
right.
even discussed it on the car ride to the Comic-Con this weekend.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, well. All right, what do you got?
Best in Blow.
I have that one. I have Best in Hose.
Best in Hose. That's one I have. Breast She Shows.
I have Breasts and Hose.
Best in Moans.
I have Best in Moans as well.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I have one more.
I have one more as well.
Beth Likes to Blow.
Nice. I have Breasts and Blow.
Is that like blow jobs or blow as in cocaine?
I'm going to leave it to you.
What did I say in the RoboCop episode? If I ever did cocaine, that's how I'd want to do it. Remember?
That's how I would want my cocaine presented.
Yeah. All right. May all of your days and nights be filled with happiness. All right. Fuck off. Good night.
Catch the vibe as 3 guys in a flick, keep the passion alive. Fuck that.